So right here we have virtual field trips, and these are made using Pear Deck. And so I would love to open this up to the public and have everybody kind of add some ideas in your own ideas. So make sure you join the Google group if you're not already, and that way you can be an editor and you're able to add all of your virtual field trips. So right here, our teachers, they teach about fall and they do some stories with it. So this is a Pear Deck activity where they can view that season. In third grade, they go to the oceans, for example. In this one, they explore the heart. And so there's all these different lessons that I'm starting to curate based on the readings that our students do, based on all these different lessons. And I would love, love, love to see other people kind of help build these out. So like example, Zane and the Hurricane, with sixth grade touching Spirit Bear. There's a roller coaster one. And so what the students are going to do is first you as the teacher, there's this Pear Deck template that is really, really good. And then I was able to add some of my own touches to it. So right here, we're going to go ahead and take a trip to Alaska. This, I just added the image of where we're going. And then right here, we're going to Alaska. This is a part of Pear Deck. So if you go to virtual field trips, Pear Deck, they have a couple of field trips on this site. So I'm going to actually add this link. Let me go ahead and add this link just so I don't forget, maybe if I can. I'm going to move it up. There we go. So let's do resources. And feel free to add more grade levels. I work with up to 6, so that's why there's only that grade level. But right here, I can add Pear Deck, and then they've got a couple different templates here. So I try to use a couple of these templates throughout, and then I try to add some other stuff. But they've got 3 different locations currently. So I thought it'd be cool if we could keep building these out, because I know with Google Expeditions, it's kind of gone, and so we need a place in order to do this. So what the students are going to do first is they're going to use Pear Deck. Make sure you have this Pear Deck Power Up extension. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to Pear Deck Power Up extension. Okay, and it's in the Chrome Web Store. And you're going to want to add this because this Chrome extension will make your life a lot easier. So right here, you can see I have the extension. Again, I'm going to add that right here. And it will allow like GIFs to play, videos to play, and all that kind of stuff. So again, it makes it a lot easier to find too. So once you have Pear Deck, you're going to click it. And then you're able to add these options, and you can also add audio. Okay, so you've got all these different options that you can add to your Pear Deck lesson. You're also able to, or you're going to want to go to peardeck.com and check your settings. So I always tell teachers, log in, go to your settings, maybe over here where the crown is, my account, settings, and turn all of these features on. Immersive Reader will allow students to listen to text that is on a slide. Classroom Climate will do a quick SEL check for you. And then you can also invite through Google Classroom classes. So I always, again, tell teachers to turn all of these on just because you do want some of these features. So check your settings because some of them are off by default. Okay, back to the Pear Deck. So right here, I'm going to click the extension. Now that the extension has loaded, here are, again, all of the things that you can add. So you could add it to be a drawing tool, and it just goes over top of the slide, these ones. If you add a template, it goes in between slides 4 and 5, or wherever you're clicking. This one would go in between 2 and 3. So there are templates that are already made, and these are just Google Slides that are already made by Pear Deck, and you can add them right in, which can be really good for some of these virtual field trips. Also on here, you can add audio. So we kind of talked about that. I could read this article to my students and I could have that audio, but I'm going to use Immersive Reader for this just to kind of show you how it works. So again, there's so many different options that you're able to do. Once you have your slides completed, I'm going to go ahead and hit Start Lesson. You're going to want to click the green Start Lesson, not the slideshow. So again, green means Pear Deck and it's going to be interactive. Click green like go. Okay, you can either do it student pace or instructor pace. If you do instructor pace, it won't move until I click. So I'm going to go ahead and do a self-paced lesson. And then I'm going to push out this link through Hapara, Google Classroom, or Seesaw. And my students are going to go through it in this another tab. Okay, so here's that SEL check-in. The students are going to tell you how they are. And on your teacher dashboard, you're able to see where the students are. So I can see Stephanie's on this slide. I can stop the student-paced lesson if I wanted to. I can also invite a co-teacher if I'm co-teaching with somebody. I'm able to do that as well. Okay, so I can kind of see that. Now I'm going to go to slide 2, and it's going to jump me to slide 2. So again, as a teacher, I can see where my students are, and I can be kind of checking in with them on that dashboard. Right here, before students even go to Alaska, they're going to say what they know. What do they know about Alaska? They could draw something, they wonder, and then they hope. So again, they can draw, they can use all these tools to draw. There's also a highlighter, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. There's a line tool, there's the text if they want to type, and then they can also erase. They can also undo and completely clear and restart. Right here is the article, and again, they can use Immersive Reader, and they can listen to it.
Welcome to Alaska. Live in Alaska. It is not.
They can also click, and some words will have a picture with it to help students understand what that means. Okay, and there's also a couple other tools in here, like if your student needs translating, there is a way. Make sure that their picture dictionary is turned on. They can turn on syllables to help them read it and break up harder words. They can also go in here and change the style, the font, and that kind of stuff. So this is Immersive Reader. It's kind of like Read and Write for Google. So it's right here. And again, I can use these highlighter tools, and my kids can annotate all over this text. Okay, here's the other part of the story. So I just broke up, and again, I can underline, I can do that. They can also use Immersive Reader. And they can
Welcome to Alaska. You can.
Okay. Right here, they're going to ask them some questions about the story. So this is from the story. The kids are just going to quickly answer them. They could, again, type their answers. On this one, they're going to see that they can go in and they're able to, again, answer those questions based on the story. Right here, it's going to take the students into 360 Cities. So 360 Cities is a really cool website. So the students are going to click down here if they get this little error message, and they are going to do some what do they see? What do they think? What do they wonder when they're exploring Alaska? So they can see all these pictures of the setting of Touching Spirit Bear, and they can go, oh, there's a mountain and it looks really cold. The water looks pretty clear. There's trees around here. There's not any houses or supermarkets. So they're starting just to see what this text looks like. And again, they're just clicking on the image and they're just moving around. If they click this button, it will take them into full screen. So then they can really start to explore some of these different options. Going back to the Pear Deck, again, right here, some of them, again, will be in the slide. And the students are able to explore right here. But if they want to see it bigger, they'll click that button. And again, if they want to see it even bigger, they need to click this blue, red, green button, and then they can really see what this looks like. Okay. Same thing here, that green one, and then they can, again, do whatever they need to do to explore Alaska. And then after that, students are going to draw 2 things that they noticed while they were exploring Alaska. So they're just going to maybe draw, there was a lot of water. They could draw whatever they wanted to draw that they noticed. And then do they want to visit Alaska? They can answer that. And then right here, I want to know more about, my favorite part was, and I learned that, and students can kind of do a quick reflection. Okay, and then as a teacher, I'm able to go over here and I can click these buttons and I can see how my students responded. So I can see right here that I'm happy by that smiley face. And again, I can see how I'm responding to the text in order to really dive deep into these different lessons. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit end. And when I do this, my students will finish that session and they'll get emailed a takeaway. So a takeaway is a really cool part. Let me go back to peardeck.com. And Pear is like your dashboard where you can go back to old lessons. So right here is the one that we just did. I can go into these 3 dots and I can rename this session. I can turn it back on. I can end the session. I can do kind of whatever I need to do. Now that I've ended that session, I can export to a spreadsheet if I want. This does not work very well with it doesn't work very well with the drawing slides, okay? So right here, I want to reflect and review. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to generate takeaways. These takeaways are really, really cool. They're really great for spacing and retrieval practices. And so right here, if I click this link, this is also going to be emailed to my students that did this lesson. And I'm going to get a Google Doc with every single student with how they responded. So again, it does take a little bit to load, but once it does load, it's really cool. You can also open up Reflect and Review. And so right here, I can go ahead to this student, and then I can go here and I can copy the student link, share it with that student, and we can kind of go through the lesson together and review what we need to do. So again, these could be really good for data chats or as I'm working with that student. And then again, I can select every single student and quickly reflect, review it kind of with that student if I want to. Okay, this is almost ready. And again, this one does take a little bit longer to load because after you set up Pear Deck, you're going to have a folder called Pear Deck. Don't delete it. You'll want to keep that for your takeaways. You'll want to keep it if you do flashcard vocabulary, or if you even save any of those Pear Deck lessons from the Pear Deck Orchard where they create templates for you. All of those go into that folder. Okay, and we're almost there. So again, add your ideas and your resources to this spreadsheet, and that way we can go multiple different places and we're able to kind of quickly see different places as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the drawing tool here because I forgot to do that for that one. And again, it's super easy to go in and make corrections as needed. Okay, and we're just waiting for this one to pop up. And again, if I wanted to read this article, I would just hit add audio to slides. And again, it's uploading, it's almost there, it's almost done finalizing. And so then once it's done finalizing, I will be able to kind of show you what that looks like. So let's see if we can get it. Hopefully it comes up soon. Let's go to Google Drive as well to see if it's in there yet, because sometimes it gets there faster. So right here, here's the Google document. Again, this will be emailed to the students and the kids can come back in. This is great for retrieval practice and they can write a quick summary. They can write their responses about any of these slides. I could add comments. They could share this with their parents. And it's just a great place to get students to really reflect on their learning. So here's the original, here's the student answers. Here's the original, here's the student answers, original student answers, and so on. So again, students can go back and maybe do a comparison with what they saw to compare what the book kind of said about the setting. So they could kind of do a quick compare and contrast right here and compare those different places. All right, can't wait to see what you guys create.